Good morning and welcome back to a new day. That was the business news just then, and I want to say a big thank you to Amake and our guest in the studio and enlightening us a little bit more on investment. Thank you ever so much. Now we're going into our sports segment, and today the reason why I'm doing it is because it's all about one of my favorite games in this earth. That's right, we're talking about basketball. Now when you mention basketball in the TV3 studios, all of a sudden Nana Abba jumps up and says, Miami Heat, LeBron James. Yeah, we're not talking about them today. We're talking about basketball in Ghana. However, basketball is $1 billion industry in the United States. It's €1 billion industry in Europe. And now we're talking about basketball within Ghana and how we can get to that million and billion dollar kind of sector, shall we say. In the studio today, we've got Yao Sechi with me, and also a young basketball player called Rudolph. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Good. How you doing, Yao?
Great.
Good stuff.
Thanks for the opportunity.
No problem at all. I mean, now basketball is an ancient game. Been introduced in the 1930s to the Olympics in Berlin. Since then, it's become almost epidemic. Almost every country in the world is playing basketball at this moment in time. The competitions internationally are, getting bigger and bigger every year. The coverage by media as well is getting bigger and bigger every year. How's it doing in Ghana at the moment, yeah?
Well, I think it will be appropriate to trace the synthesis of what has become more like a revolution in terms of basketball being a bit ubiquitous in the country. We still, like you described, we have a multi-billion sport in the States, a multi-billion euro sport.
Europe,
But in Ghana, I think it's a few city sports.
Yeah.
Because comfortably we've described basketball as a lesser-known sport. I mean, of course, in that bracket we have the hockeys and the swimming. I'm told that officially, Ghana is promoting over 30 sports, but I think that the emphasis has always been on soccer.
Football, yeah.
Why? I don't know. Somebody must explain.
Right.
Because if officially we are supposed to be promoting all these sports, and it looks like some have been ignored totally because there is no funding for it to start with. And how can a sport succeed if the powers that be don't pay attention to it? But regarding basketball in Ghana, a few individuals have tried in the past, including myself and my team. We have successfully created 4 different very vibrant brands, namely the Melo Junior Ball for basic schools, the high school competition called Sprite Ball, which has been running, is the longest running very competitive tournament in the country now, and I give them props anytime because that tournament has served as the catalyst to the creation of many other tournaments that we see today. We have the community game, and then at the tertiary level, the different blocks at the tertiary level talk about private universities, public universities, and then the polytechnics. They have their different programs that they run. But in 2011, we were able to create one unique platform that saw a measure of all these blocks and made it very competitive. So in that respect, I would say that basketball has seen some light, some good light for that matter. And in sports, on a new day, discussion here, it tells you that we've made some efforts in the past. It still stands that a lot more can be done when not just government, but more corporate groups begin to pay attention and to understand the business angle of the sport.
Well, I mean,
I think that is what is missing.
I think if they're not looking at that, then they're being a bit naive. I mean, we've already established the fact that it is a multi-billion dollar, multi-billion euro industry. Even if you look at the branding and merchandising from basketball alone, you've got the likes of Michael Jordan, who's been sitting on his butt for the last I don't know how many years, who's still constantly making mega bucks from the branding of his shoes. Any athlete who seems to be worth his 2 pennies within basketball has some kind of branding behind him, and they're pushing them forward. So, I mean, it would be a bit naive, in my opinion, to just foreclose our minds and say that this is not a sport that can bloom or flourish within our country. As we're walking around today, or as we're driving around today, as we drive around, we see basketball courts Almost everywhere in Ghana.
Yes.
I know for a fact aviation, if you drive past there's one there. There's one at prisons. There's one at Legon. And I'm sure that's even me.
Certain trend. The churches are also building.
Actually, they have some at the back of their of their
churches have
premises
built a
as
lot
well.
of courts.
Rudolph, let's speak to you at the moment. You play basketball?
Yeah, I play basketball.
What position do you play?
I'm a point guard.
You're a point guard.
Yeah.
So you're the one that's feeding everybody the ball. I used to actually play small forward. Yeah, so.
I would have been surprised with your height if you're not playing basketball.
Yeah, well, those are the days when my knees were good. And now we're not so, limber. But Rudolph, I mean, how do you find basketball in Ghana at the moment?
Well, I think basketball in Ghana has really improved, with the likes of Rise Multimedia really helping us with the Milo Ball, the Sprite Ball, and all the other competitions. Well, but with me, I think the motivation, like these days parents are like, you have to play soccer, because of the likes of Michael Essien and the others. But I think basketball can also make an impact. Like right now I'm here. Even for basketball I wouldn't be here maybe. And I think it's also a game for intellectuals. Like if you don't go to school you can't play basketball.
Right.
That one is very, very impossible. But with football, if the team just takes you up there, that's all. You're going to play for an academy, and perhaps you can go to school and stuff. But basketball, in the NBA, if you've not been to the university, I don't think you can play basketball.
Yep.
And virtually, if you've not been to the high school, you can't be to the university.
That's
if you've
right.
not been to the basic school or the junior high, you can't be to the high school.
Yep.
So definitely, basketball is a game for educated people. If you're uneducated, I don't think you can play basketball. And also, basketball has also taught me something like that the team spirit, with teamwork, like it also affects us in our schools, even in school, when you learn like in a group, you learn this from this person, the other person, combine your team, you make your 8 A's. Yeah, I think basketball has really helped me a lot.
All right, well, there you go. I mean, Rudolph has just literally told you. And obviously the camaraderie. And I think what people fail to realize is that, for instance, on a football team, you've got your 11 players, times that by how many to have your bench and all the rest of it. Basketball, there's 5 players on the court at one point in time. I mean, 5 players on your team. Having 5 players on one team is very concentrated. So you find that the camaraderie and the team, the team building between those 5 people is a lot more concentrated than if you were dealing with 11. So, and like you said as well, it's the education part of it as well. I know for a fact in America you cannot play in the NBA without having played in the NCAA.
Yeah.
And even to play in the NCAA, you have to have your high school diploma. So they're ensuring that there is a lot of education. It comes simultaneously along with the whole thing. How are you finding that that's happening here in Ghana at the moment?
That is very much on course. Like you mentioned, we channeling all the activities through the educational system. So, for instance, the most popular competition at the junior level is what he mentioned, the junior ball, the Melo Junior Ball, which so far has covered about 4 regions. So it started like a Greater Accra competition, and then it gradually expands into other regions. So what we do is that when we go, for instance, to Koforidua, the schools that have the capacity to play, we bring them together, we play, we select winners, we move on to the next region. And so we do that at the end of the regional tour, we bring the winners to Accra. I mean, for instance, Sprite Ball, which I probably talk about all the time because, like I said, it's what has created, it's given birth to other competitions. We went as far as 8 regions. We went to the northern region, and wherever we go, the sheer numbers, amazing, unbelievable. It tells me the following. It tells me the yearn for the opportunity to play. And not to talk about the recent visits about the NBA.
The NBA players.
If we are not doing anything, if basketball is not that popular, it won't get the attention of the NBA. To bring Lowell playing for Chicago Bulls and your own friend Pops to Ghana to say, let's do something with this kids. And as a result of that, one kid from King's College in Kumasi got the opportunity to participate in basketball without borders. In South Africa, he returned just last week. Those are the opportunities that we're talking about. When I meet these young ones, I tell them that at this age, don't even think of NBA.
No.
Think of the opportunities that you get through basketball, and it's enormous.
I like your thinking, yeah. Right, we're going to take a look at something here. I mean, this is basketball that's taking place right here in Ghana. Take a look, see what you think.
In the world of sports, Ghana abounds with enormous talents in all sporting disciplines, and in recent times, the game of basketball has seen a facelift and is fast becoming the newest trend taking hold of the present generation. In the last 6 years, the game of basketball has moved to the next level with the introduction of a consistent and competitive basketball program on all levels of education, from basic school to the tertiary level, and even a vibrant, active league in the greater Accra region. These games have successfully flourished for years. Empowering and extremely beneficial, these basketball platforms have offered education scholarships to deserving athletes, employment for some players, and has even produced talents for the Ghana national under-18 basketball team that qualified for the first time to play in the Afro Basketball Championship in Mozambique. Without doubt, Ghanaians have seen 6 years of solid, unrivaled, and matchless support from key sponsors and players who have participated in highly visible roles in the promotion of basketball in Ghana, and their efforts must not go unnoticed. This is the rationale behind the maiden memorable event, highlighting the very best.
All right, so there you have it. There was a short video on the development of basketball within Ghana. And as you can see, it is a flourishing sport. Now, let's just take a look at another aspect of it. This being a sport that can be developed within our country, this being a sport whereby I feel we have enough talent to have a national team. What are we doing on a national level? Are we getting into international competition? Is it something that the Ministry of Youth and Sports are actually backing us in order to see this, go forward?
I mean, for the records, I've engaged the past 5 ministers of sports, from Honorable Muntaka, to Honorable Pelpo, to Honorable Kofi Humado. I have worked closely with them.
Right.
And when I say closely, it's just they visiting the tournament and encouraging the kids to continue to play and persevere. Beyond that, on my side, I haven't seen practical support.
Okay.
And when I say practical support, all the things that anytime I get the opportunity to talk to engage these leaders, I talk to them about developing facilities, the infrastructure. For instance, as a country that we want to move ahead and make strides in basketball, there is no single indoor facility.
Right.
I mean, it's like you want to host the World Cup and you want the teams to come and play on
cracked
like this how do you call it? No, there is no grass.
Oh, the dusty pitch.
Yes, Sakura. It won't happen.
In your lawn.
You can't attract international recognition and attention without the infrastructure. It's basic. I mean, you don't need anybody to tell you that. So that is what we need to be pushing. Once government takes a lead, it also attracts corporate bodies in there.
That's right.
It's so basic, but hey, that's just me talking. You need other people to also add their voices to it.
But we've had the likes of, we had a sprinter who went to Moscow. She didn't get trained anywhere else. She went trained by herself and went there. She didn't get too far. We had our international hockey team who recently went for the tournament. They didn't do too well at all. I mean, and these are the kind of things whereby these are teams or people who really don't have too much training with too much support, but have managed to make it to an international level. We have a little bit more infrastructure when it comes to basketball, don't we?
Yes, we do. We do. But you see, Benny, you've played basketball in the UK.
Yeah.
Do we play competitive basketball on hard surface?
No.
Not really.
No.
So when these boys train on this hard surface with no clock to time them, when they get into these international competition, they are challenged.
And also, I mean, even the bouncing of the ball on concrete and on one of these floors is completely different.
So, I mean, for the records, I mean, we've had the national team play some friendly games, and in most cases, I'm told they've excelled.
Right.
But you should see how they managed to get to these destinations. Just last year, the national under-18 team, they had to hitchhike from here to Burkina Faso.
No way.
Yes. Move small to Takoradi to Elubo.
Hold on one second.
Yes, okay, I mean, you heard me.
Repeat this again, y'all. Our national basketball team,
yes,
under 18,
under 18
had to hitchhike to a tournament.
Yes, and then they get the fatigued and still manage to qualify for the very first time, an African tournament in Mozambique, where they excel to the quarterfinal stage. Now, that is with no support. So can you imagine if we have a little bit of attention?
Yeah. I mean, these guys who did it on their own,
yes,
they persevered, and it literally, if they didn't have the passion for the game, they wouldn't have even hitchhiked.
Don't even talk about per diems, because these kids are playing just because of the passion, the love they have for the game. So there is don't think of per diem, don't think of like good food. Just think of ice water for them.
I'm even thinking of things
that drives them.
I'm even thinking things like injuries.
Yes.
Say, for instance, one of them actually does get injured. I mean, what kind of support do they have? None.
You know. So a parent will be worried, obviously, if we do not have enough participation by the powers that be. And I shy away from always placing the problem at the doorstep of government, because I think that this industry can also be well developed with the corporate bodies, who also stand to gain because of the sheer numbers that we have, because of the sheer following that we have, that you can build products around these tournaments and benefit from that.
Yeah. But what would you like to see in basketball within Ghana? Or what would you like to see the ministries do for you guys?
I would say I would like the Ghana. Do you have
Youth and Sports?
Yeah, the Ghana Basketball Association.
Ghana Basketball Association.
Yeah. I've never even heard of them.
No, they are just.
I don't know what they are doing.
Yeah, well, we know is GFA, so
that's all everyone knows. But I think they should really help, because we don't even have one indoor facility here, and I've not played basketball on a wooden floor before, like seriously. All we play is these concrete grounds, these rough portals kind of courts, and I think it's not really helping us. I think the government should really help. This is not about politics and stuff, but I think they should really help us. So we have a lot of talents, like right now, even not for the Ghana Basketball and Leadership Camp, I wouldn't have been here. Yeah, we have a lot of talents, way lot. Like most of the youths are into basketball, but it's because they are not getting the support and stuff.
That's right.
But I think the government should really help, and push basketball to another level.
All right. Thank you so much, Rudolph. Thank you, y'all, for coming in this morning and enlightening us a little bit more. What can be done in regards to, bring some more attention to basketball within Ghana? And, let's make an appeal to our ministries as well. Don't allow our national team to hitchhike to tournaments. That's what I would say. It's embarrassing, and I don't know how you can sit there. But anyway, listen, if you're out there and you want to help us with our national basketball team, contact Yao, or if you want, contact me here at TV3. We'll see what we can do as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Benny.
Yeah, and stay with us. We'll be right back.